Hey, what's going on, Roadrunner fans? Welcome back to the Lit Medallion. So today marks the fourth game of the UTSA season for 2021. Last year we were 3-0. This year we're 3-0. We have a very tough test against Memphis, up in Memphis. Memphis is also having a very good season. I haven't looked at their record, but I'm pretty sure they're 3-0 also. The game's being played on ESPNU at 2:30, so maybe I'll provide a commentary afterwards. We'll see. But what I wanted to talk more in depth about is the first three games of the season. So obviously by now, you know that Illinois came off a big win against Nebraska. They played at home against Nebraska, and they played at home against us for their second game of the season. It was our first game of the season. We went up there. We didn't get pushed around. That's the big takeaway. The kids played well. They overcame 2 targeting penalties to some star defensive players. Still won 37-30. Had to hold on to the win with some late Hail Mary hijinks by, Illinois. But you know what? Went up there, went to a hostile crowd, went and played a Big Ten team. Good Big Ten team. Does it really matter? Who are they compared to us, right? Who are we compared to them? They're a Big Ten team. They have all the capital they want in the world, and they can name their price on any coach they want, pretty much. We can't. Guaranteed their coach probably makes 5 times what our coach makes. But that's okay. Our kids went up there. They won the game. They didn't get pushed around. That is the stellar takeaway from the game, and running the ball. The big thing is, we got Sincere McCormick, who's just so rock solid, gaining yards, gaining yards, gaining yards. Always seems to be moving forward. Brendan Brady's healthy. Brendan Brady had a great game. Got to give him a shout out. When he got a chance to shine, he shined. There was absolutely no doubt. He had 2 big runs for us. What can you say? He stepped up. He's healthy. Let's see what happens the rest of the season, right? So game 2, we played Lamar, an FCS school in the state of Texas. All programs get a chance to play. So can't take anything away from that victory. I mean, Alabama plays an FCS school. All the SEC teams play an FCS school. It's rare that P5 programs, G5 programs do not play FCS schools and share some of the wealth of college football. Took it to Lamar. First ever shutout. Got a kick return. Defense played lights out. 35-0. Overall, what was nice to see was when the offensive line at the early part of the game was getting pushed around a little bit. They were getting some pressure. I wouldn't say getting pushed around, but they're getting some pressure. Our offensive coordinator played wide, threw the ball wide, started opening up their gaps, and then we could run the ball. Then we could throw the ball. Game ended up 35-0. It was very much a pedestrian style 35-0, if you can call a win 35-0 pedestrian, but it wasn't that UTSA did anything great. Didn't run trick plays, that kind of stuff. Pretty much just played really solid, good, fundamental football. The team's well coached. The team knows what it's supposed to do, what is expected of them after a big play. You can see when they get up off, they make a big play, they get 15 yards, 20 yards, they get back to the line, and they're looking at the sidelines, wondering what's happening next. That's a sign of a great coaching staff. It really is, getting the kids to believe. Then game 3, let's talk about Middle Tennessee State. A dominating defensive game. Dominating. Little slow on the start. I think maybe the UTSA offense kind of slept on Middle Tennessee State a little bit. Now, granted, it is a conference game. Middle Tennessee State is in Conference USA with UTSA, so they've seen us. They saw us last year. They know what we do. We kind of know what they do. The greats lose in conference. Alabama lost 2 years in a row to Ole Miss, right? Alabama's lost to Auburn, right? So when you see teams year after year after year, you see the same players, you know what their tendencies are, and you train for it. So winning and getting out in front 27-0, it was a pretty good win. I mean, coming 3 games in a row, Middle Tennessee State was fired up. Uh, what was a little disappointing in the game was when the backups started coming in when we were up 27-0, last 3.5 minutes. You kind of, I, the team kind of let up. The team kind of let the chance for back-to-back shutouts slip away. It's hard to shut teams out, especially when you're talking level opponents, right? So for UTSA to finish 27-13, uh, is it a little disappointing? Could you have done better? Yeah. I mean, you've always got to look for that coaching moment. Never ignore in victory what you wouldn't ignore in defeat. And so 3.5 minutes, giving up 13 points. Ooh, that's a coachable moment. Pretty sure Jeff Traylor and company will, button that up. It's great coaching moment, plain and simple. What was really neat was at the end of the game, Middle Tennessee State ran onside kick. We got the ball. They had timeouts. We brought our first team offense in. There was about a minute left. There was no way Middle Tennessee State was really going to come back, but the chance still is there. We ran a read option. Frank Harris went around the end, got himself 6 yards, slid, and it was Middle Tennessee State. Didn't call a timeout. I think that at that point they realized, do they want us to play hard for this final minute? You get to the point, you got to play to win the game, but then you have to understand, is it worth the injuries to your players? Because you're going to play hard, you're going to play out of control. And I think Middle Tennessee State weighed that. And then when that happened, that they didn't call a timeout, UTSA went into victory formation. I think it was a class move. It was, détente. If you want a political term for it, it was détente. It was USA versus Russia. Hey, we've got missiles. You've got missiles. We're showing you our missiles. We're showing you our Navy going around the world on the 7 seas. Do you really want more, right? So it was a class gesture. Middle Tennessee State, we got the best of them 2 years in a row. 1-0 in conference, 3-0. So how would I grade UTSA for the first 25% of our games, right? The first quarter of the season. Straight A's. Straight up, straight A's. You can go back to, here's why I say straight A's. All across the board. When we were playing Illinois, we had a 7-point lead, got the ball back with, 2 minutes to go. What did we do? 3 running plays. The clock was our friend. The clock was our teammate at the time. Was I happy with the style of running plays? Not necessarily, because I don't think that these 3 running plays would have garnered a first down. But you know what? It was a snap from our starting center, a snap to our star QB, a handoff to our star running back. You minimized mistakes. That right there told me that this team could be special. Will it be? You'll only know at the end of the season, right? When I started this season, I said, you know what? I looked at the schedule. I said, Memphis is tough. Illinois is tough. So I said, you know what? There's 2 losses. Not that we couldn't win, just that if you were to ask me as a betting man, I'd say there's 2 losses. And then when you get into conference, and knowing how Conference USA is, I know UAB's tough. They're on our side of the bracket. I know we play Southern Miss. They always play us tough. La Tech always plays us tough. We have to play Western Kentucky in Kentucky. It's a road game. So I said, two conference losses. I just predicted. You pick one of those games that we play, 2 of those games we play that I just mentioned, easily could lose. But we easily could win too, because we've proven it in the past. We proved it last year, right? Last year we were 7-4 at the end of the season. We missed 1 game instead of being, a chance to be an 8-4. We're 7-4. Well, guess what? We took care of the teams we should have taken care of, and some of the we snuck by with a win probably that wasn't expected. So you got to look at the whole. Now, going forward, what do I think from this Memphis game? Man, I don't know. I haven't a clue. Is it winnable? Absolutely. UTSA has to play its best game. Always has to play its best game. We'll see what happens. The game starts at 2:30 Central Time. So I might hop on and do some video while the game's going on, but chances are I'll be enjoying the game, hopefully. Y'all have a great evening. Go Roadrunners.